I just wanted to frame this by kind of like backing out a little bit. I think like one of the things that like when you and I, Matty, were talking about this stuff, that I think I said to you is just that, like, one thing about being at the races, and especially like an endurance race, and especially like a 24-hour endurance race, is that like in my experience, like these are some of the most like completely immersive things that you can experience, in the sense that like when you're at a race of like a really long duration, and you're just kind of subsumed into that world, like the entire fucking outside world just disappears, just like falls away completely. um and I've been thinking about like, well, what a great weekend that was to have that happen. And even backing up further and we didn't talk about this, Rory, but when you were at Le Mans, that was it the Friday? I guess it was the Friday, the 13th, right? That Israel started bombing and attacking Iran, and and I think I saw the news thing before I went to bed that night. It's just like, oh, good, oh, lovely, great, what a nice development. And before I went to bed, I just I just shot a text to you saying, "Hey, Rory, what's the ACO's how did I phrase it?
What's
Like
the ACO's
what's their
contingency plan for World War III?
Yeah, the contingency plan, exactly, for World War III." And then when I checked my messages in the morning, you had said something about like, oh well, they just do 2 more rounds of hypercar qualifying,
yeah.
hyperpole
At least one more
qualifying.
hyperpole.
Right, which I thought was great, because we didn't talk about that either. But like the whole hyperpole qualifying thing, which was this thing that they introduced a couple of years ago, where it's that they're kind of gamifying the qualifying a little bit. But it was actually like, it was pretty fun. It's like, oh, they do qualifying, but then like the 10 fastest cars, they go through to hyperpole, and then they do a separate qualifying, and those guys are just competing with each other for the top 10 slots. Well, this year they added what, 2 more rounds?
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little bit silly, but it was also like pretty fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like,
hard to argue. I
Yeah.
gotta say, yeah. It's the name is funny, the process is funny, but it is very fun watching the cars go around fast.
Yeah, yeah. And especially because they do it. I mean, the thing that you can kind of argue for it, just in terms of just like, all right, this isn't just like silly and dumb, but like the thing that they did was they broke up the classes. So now like the hypercars are only out there by themselves, like with all the other like fastest hypercars of the field competing against. So pretty much everybody's getting a clean lap, whereas in the past, the other ways that they would do it, like it, so much of it just depends on, like, you might be, on a flyer and having a really hot lap, and you just, run into traffic halfway through it, and you're fucked. So it's not really not necessarily the fastest cars that end up at the front, whereas this was much more, kind of, yeah. Anyway, but yeah. So Rory, you had a bit of that experience for 2 weekends running, that 2 weekends where it was maybe not a bad thing to not have to pay attention to shit that's going on outside of the gates of the racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, they're really, it's been several years since there's been a weekend where I'd rather be paying attention to the world than watching a race. Right. always more fun to be at a race. But it did make me think about like obviously the guys who work for IMSA and like live that life are like, they're doing this every weekend. You know, they get like their days off are like midweek, and then like they're, you know, like I saw John Doonan at the race, and it's like he just came from Le Mans, was home for a couple days. Now he's in Watkins Glen, and I was like, it seems great. Like it seems great to me. Like obviously, like not a great fit with my current lifestyle, but like, it was like, man, you really could just do this every weekend. Ollie Gavin that was there, Tommy Milner was at both things. And it's like, you really could just only be at the racetrack. And it seems like, you know, obviously it probably would get old over time, but it's like, I see the appeal for sure. And it was great for me, to be back to back. And see a lot of, like I said, see a lot of the same people, a lot of the same cars. You know, it was obviously like a different vibe. I was telling a bunch of people, like, what are you doing here? Like, you were just at a race last weekend, and it's like, oh, this is like a family and friends weekend, and like, you know, we're here to socialize and hang out versus like be an official guest at a event, which is like, being an official guest is not exactly a stressful experience. Like they make it pretty easy on you, and it's in a lot of ways like more convenient, and you're more coddled in every way than you are when you do it yourself. But you're also like, you know, in a professional setting, sort of,
Sure.
and like, you know, there's like stuff you
There's a certain level of expectations and just kind of performative shit that you have to do.
yeah, exactly. And I think like it's a different thing being there as a fan. And I think like, you know, that's what the Watkins Glen thing is for me, is like this, like no schedule, very easy, very, obviously the 13-hour drive on either side of it is somewhat complicating, but,
I've driven longer for less.
Totally. No, same. I was actually writing something for Alloy today about like trying to figure out if I do stupid drives to accommodate other things in my life, or if I just like the stupid drives at this point. You know what I mean? Like,
that's kind of the point. I mean, for me, honestly, that's a big part of the appeal of just like, am I going to do this crazy thing on a whim? Well, do I get to spend like 12 hours in a car to do it? Yeah, by myself. Well, then that sounds great.
I was trying to remember Davey's trajectory with that, because I remember him writing that story about driving the 6.9 across the desert.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, had he been into like the distance drive thing prior to that, or did that start it? Like, was that? Because I know, like, towards the end of his life, it was like all he did was do overnight drives and motorcycle rides. Like
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't. Go ahead.
I think he had always kind of had a bit of that, because he would just do. I mean, a lot of the stories that he would do a lot of just like California stuff. You know, he was very into like California lore and history, and he would just do like these drives just all around like rural, just like, you know, like the furthest back corners of you know, and you know, I mean, it's like, well, we're just talking about California. California's a fucking huge state. Like, there's a lot of fucking, and he would just kind of like do these drives where he would just pick these random locations and just go and check them out and write about, you know, just the you know, whatever he's driving, but then wrap it up with all this other kind of history and local color stuff and but it did seem like just like also the excuse to just to like go drive around aimlessly for a really long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good work if you can get it type of situation. But
right.
It's like, it was like I found myself like having this, like on the way home, I think I got home at like 4 a.m, and it was like, you know, like you're kind of loopy and a little bit like obviously high from drinking caffeine and like being awake for whatever a very long period of time. But it's like, man, this feels nice. Like, it's just such a nice, calm feeling of like being like tired, but like still on it. Kind of, you know what I mean? I don't know what it is.
Totally.
It's just like, it's like a.
You're not
people
quite
have called
at this
it
hallucinating stage, but like if you were
just
on
a little
another
loopy.
hour, you would be.
Yeah, a little loopy. I've been like, I've pushed into the hallucination stage.
I plead the
before,
fifth. Yeah,
which is
I will not self-incriminate.
terrifying, where you're like coming in to the end of your trip and like looking at the road signs and like can't process the visual information, and they feel like they're really close to you and like you're gonna run into them.
Rory, do you ever get the one where have you, one might, if one were driving for too long, experience a thing where like it kind of looks like there's like a big animal walking around, you get close, like, oh, it's just an overpass, that's fine, there's not like a big, like a huge like imaginary creature walking around on the road or something, that's just an overpass, it's fine.
Yeah, I get that a lot. Yeah, like a person walking into the road on the freeway, like
It's like there's white line fever, and then there's like white line pneumonia.
Yeah,
It's kind of a pink elephant
tipping
thing
into
after a
pneumonia
while, yeah.
territory.
yeah. I just call it
White line heat stroke.
I just say my eyes are getting a little buggy. That's what I tell myself. I'm like, oh, my eyes are getting a little buggy. It's not a problem.
Yeah, the hallucinations are like the low stage, and then when you get to like the feeling in your chest where you're kind of like woozy, you're like, now I have to wait. Now I have to figure out where I can pull over. Okay, all right. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah, but it is nice. I gotta tell you, it's I don't. I was thinking too. It's like my dad used to drive us to Florida, and he would just drive the whole 24 hours by himself in the car.
Yeah.
That's
and it's like
crazy.
Oh yeah.
I think
Straight, not stopping.
Yeah. Just it's bathroom breaks, but
That's wild, man.
Hell yeah.
That's. I mean, I'm good for like. I've done like 15, 16 before. And felt okay by the end of it, but I don't think I could tack another 8 on top of that.
I definitely can, and I definitely love it. And I will say, like the like
should we do like a, there's like the guys that do the cannonball shit,
Yeah.
like they do the high speed, but they always do it in teams and they rotate and they have spotters and stuff. Maybe we should just do it just straight up like a race.
Yeah. Just go for it.
one person,
Just
one
solo, car. and not against the clock, just a race.
Yeah.
I think one of us would
Coast to
probably
coast
die.
race.
I could do that. Oh yeah, I did that going to pick up my old roommate from Oregon because I had to go from the eastern edge of Pennsylvania all the way to Oregon.
The funny thing it would be that Rory, you would come in last because you would just be looking for charging stations.
Yeah.
I would come in second because inevitably I would drive through a thunderstorm and my car would just stop going, and Matty would just cruise on through to Santa Monica in the Corolla.
80 miles an hour all the way.
Just be waiting for us there with his hands folded across his chest, being like, "What took you guys so long?"
Yeah. I was looking at like this weekend. There were those stories that it's like all the terrible stuff about the Iran bombing thing, and then obviously how like didn't really do anything substantive with that, but like they're gonna try to find like the rah-rah story out of this. And, like the rah-rah story was like they did this 37-hour mission.
Oh yeah.
Like straight through, like they flew there and flew back 37 hours straight, and I was like, ooh, right. That's kind of nice. Like, and like I did see some memes where like the plane had a sponsorship, a Provigil sponsorship decal on it, which is that shift work drug that I was talking about.
Oh wow!
That I think that's what the bomber pilots take, but it's like nice. 37 hours. That is, I mean, I guess they say like on that drug, you can do, if you take enough of it, you can do 72 hours without any like lack of coordination. But I think that's like the upper limit. But 37 hours, very appealing. That's and like, what's it like flying a plane? You know, like I know driving a car, I know what that's like, but flying a plane
is fucking easy, man. It's
yeah, nothing
I'm
to run
very
into.
no, you're just fucking sitting there. And the thing is, and there's multiple. I mean, there's at least 2 people in a B2. I don't know. Is there more than that?
I think so. B2 too. B2 is 2, I think.
Yeah, it's at least 2. There might be a third in the back. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not impressed. Like the thing is, in a team, like with another person.
Oh yeah.
I can and have done 36 hours plus, like stopping only for gas. Like actually one of the most fun things, Matty, you will appreciate this. Joel.
And you're once again driving with Joel.
When Nothing Painted Blue toured with Wicker Spigot in 1998, I think. And we ended up on the East Coast, and a bunch of us flew home, and then it ended up just being like me and Joel and Mark driving from the East Coast. We dropped Mark off in Wisconsin, and then we just drove the rest of the way from Wisconsin back to California, just me and Joel straight through. And but the thing that was great was we'd just be, we're in the Suburban, we're stopping only for gas. And we're reaching that point, and neither, like somebody would just, climb in the back and curl up and, do the half sleep thing, but you're not actually sleeping. But we're not even really doing that. I mean, we're mostly just fucking cruising along. But the thing that was hilarious was we would stop at a truck stop, fill up, go inside, and this is like late 90s, and so the video games that they have like Cruising USA, which was this great driving game.
Yeah.
And we would just sit down and pump a bunch of quarters into the
play a driving
USA.
game.
Choose your car.
Exactly.
Rest,
as our break, and then it's like once we had had our fill of that, we just go back out to the Suburban, fucking get back in and just go another fucking 6 hours till we had to fill up again. It's very funny. We did that multiple times.
Furniture One at the arcade is so pure. I'm gonna die. I'm so happy. That's so good.
At the truck stop arcade. Yeah. Good times.
Wonderful.
So B2 is 5 crew, 2 pilots. So you are
come
splitting.
on. Yeah.
I feel like
B2.
Yeah.
How was that even an accomplishment? Congratulations. Yeah. You all fucking, sat in chairs for 37 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
It's 2 guys to fly the thing and 5 guys to whack you in the back of the head if you doze off. No problem.
I think you conceivably could just sleep. They probably don't, but it's like you're going the same direction for a very long time, very high up in the air.
You're not going to crash into anything.
You're not going to run into anything. Yeah.
No.
And it's like,
although something could crash into you because you are stealth.
That's true. Yeah, would not notice it.
Bird strikes, man.
But I don't think at that altitude, I don't think there's birds up there.
Oh, how do they
I think
go?
it's literally just like, well, let's take a look. Do you want to play the music?
Oh, it's on. It's on. We're probably playing Bossa Antigua by Kevin MacLeod in Compotech.com.
Let's see. Ooh, accidents and incidents. Okay, here we go. Maximum speed 630 miles an hour. Not that fast.
I thought you were gonna Google what's the highest flying bird.
I'm doing that.
Flight ceiling is 50,000 feet.
Wow,
That's
quite
it?
high. Yeah.
For the B2?
That's high for a bird. Yeah. There's no birds up there.
Oh, I know. I just would have guessed that the B2 would have a higher ceiling.
Yeah. No, that's it. That's all you get. This is a real
I'm
episode
even
about
less impressed.
Peter being disappointed in the B2.
I think the B2 sucks.
It
dude, the highest flying bird is a fucking vulture. That whips.
Makes sense.
A lot of those guys just kind of
well, I mean, they hang out in the Andes, right? So those are very high mountains.
Those are condors, I believe.
The Ruppel's vulture, also called the Ruppel's griffin vulture, native to the Sahel region in East Africa. Pretty cool. Cool vulture. Cool ass vulture. Gets up there.
So how high do they fly?
They get as high as 37,000 feet.
Fuck.
So still not
Extremely
not close.
metal
Still.
vulture.
Yeah.
That's
I
that's
think
pretty
all
high.
vultures are extremely metal. That's the thing about vultures. It's there.
37,000 feet is really fucking high for a bird, man.
Telling ya.
Seems like it would take a long time to get up there.
Cool vulture. Sick ass
Well, and
vulture.
also just like I would just think there would be a lot of, I mean, the oxygen is extremely thin, and also just like going up. I mean, I did sea level to 16,000 feet in one day on that Peru trip, and it fucking destroyed me. Like just the altitude, like, so I guess the vulture would probably train for it,
Yeah.
and maybe
they
it's
have- they were-
physiology or
Ooh.
however you say it is
I've got
probably
it.
different from mine. Yeah.
The birds have a specialized variant of the hemoglobin alpha D subunit. This protein has a great affinity for oxygen, which allows the species to absorb oxygen efficiently despite the low partial pressure in the upper troposphere. They do get sucked into airplanes, though. One of them was did a bird strike in 1973 at an altitude of 37,000 feet, all the way up there.
Jesus
Got their
Christ!
ass.
How unlucky
I know.
would you like?
That's me. Like I
mean,
said, put it on
dude, the
autopilot and take a nap,
sky-
and then you hit a fucking bird.
the sky is so big. Think of like what are the chances of that?
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah. You have to
Cool
do
bird.
it and then think like,
Jesus.
was that a bird? No fucking way that was a bird. We had something else. There's no way there's a bird up here.
I'm just thinking of it from the fucking bird's perspective, man.
I know. You're chilling. You're just up
You're
there.
just
Yeah.
you're just cruising around. You're just like fucking
Flop, right?
like
This is great. Life
just
is good.
sailing, just gliding along, man. Just fucking riding a thermal.
Gone.
Just not even, and just all of a sudden, like you wouldn't even know what hit you. You'd just be like, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah, another one of those huge noisy birds. Very unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I guess what I'm saying with all this is that they should let one of us try to fly the B-2.
Yeah, they let a fit fielder fly
I
at
guess
Boeing.
so. I mean,
Let me in. Let me in.
I would. There's so many other planes I would rather fly.
Like what? What's
Yeah.
your top choice? What do you want to fly?
I don't know. I mean, if I'm gonna fly a fucking bomber, I want to fly like a B-58 or something, like a jet bomber, a supersonic jet bomber. I mean, B-58 fucking Hustler,
Yeah,
things
that's
are
cool.
rad as shit.
If it's a 58, do they let you have 58 pilots in it? If it's a B2 gets 2, does that mean the 58, you get to stuff
Yep.
58 pilots in there? Is it one of the really big ones?
That's how it works. Yes.
It's
Do the model kits come with 58 little pilots?
It's a crew of 3, but the thing is that the B-58 had this really weird, like ejection. It was like an ejection, like the seats that the pilots were in, like formed like these kind of pods that where it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be survivable to eject from this airplane at like Mach 2 plus and you know, whatever, 30, you know, 35, 40,000 feet, whatever it was flying at, vulture height. And which, when you think about it, I mean, think about what ejecting into a into a 2,000 mile per hour wind would feel it. But I actually saw they had one of these at the Wright-Patterson when I was there a month
cool.
ago. It was pretty cool.
Oh wow, I'm looking at the little capsule.
Yeah, it's like
Mhm.
it's like yeah, it's like supposed to be like this kind of like exoskeleton that would just like instantaneously, as you're being ejected, like the kind of like shield would plunge down in front of you or something. I don't actually have a good grasp of the mechanics of how it would actually work, or if it indeed worked. I don't think it was ever used, tested, put to
Probably
the test.
good. I would fly a P-38. I think Lightning. I think that would be my. Or
Well, if you're going, yeah. I mean, if we're talking
Fighter.
about like
Fighter planes.
like prop planes, then then I mean, shit. I don't even know where to start with that.
I got married at 30,000 feet to the woman I love with a parcel of meat she had strapped to her back, made a horrible parachute. Don't use meat for a parachute. Meat, shoot, white, blues, I love you. We traded our vows and the rings in her pockets, a union sanctified by God in the marriage at 30,000 feet.
So I'm reading the book Hatchet, not for
yes.
myself, obviously, not to myself, but to the kids before bed. You know this book, Peter?
We've talked about
I know
this
it because
previously.
because you guys have talked about it. I didn't. It was kind of. I guess it was after my childhood. So
Brian, the kid, he's going to visit his dad. His mother and father have just been divorced. They're in a small plane, and they're flying, like I said, over the bush, and the pilot has a heart attack and dies.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just remembered why we talked about it before.
Because
And
of
it was
Elon.
It's because the Elon call where he was on that stream with the gamer
with
guy
Connor
who
Eats
was
Pants.
clowning.
Yeah.
Adrian did. I remember.
That's right. Anyway, continue.
Also, feels like 500 years ago.
You're right.
But so he's in the plane, and pilot has a heart attack and dies, and he's just been given like a really quick, like every time you're in a small plane, the pilot's like, all right, put your hands in the controls, and like you're gonna see what it feels like to fly the plane or whatever. So he got that right before the pilot died.
Yeah.
So the question is, he's got to figure out to keep the plane aloft. But it's also like the longer the plane is aloft, the further he gets from civilization. Right. Obviously, he has no idea of what direction he's going or how to read any of the dials, gauges. And he's got a ditch, and it's so densely wooded that he's got a ditch in a lake. That's the only breaking thing that breaks up the trees that he's seen is the lakes. There's a lot of lakes up there.
And where is this? Where is he?
Like Canada, north of New York, somewhere. So like,
okay.
The
Ontario.
Yeah,
Quebec.
You know how I feel about Canada. But so the question is, do you think you could, and given his situation, he's also just run out of fuel, so he's now making an unpowered gliding landing. But in that situation, with your current level of skill and knowledge of airplanes, do you think you could successfully land the plane
I'm killing myself.
in the water?
I got no shot.
Not even making an attempt.
No. I'm gonna crash that thing and it's gonna suck, or I'm gonna like almost make it and then die of something else. Just give me the gun, brother.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm
He
tapping out.
he has a hatchet on his belt, so you could use the hatchet on your belt to slit your wrist.
There you go. Problem solved.
But you're
Hope it's sharp. Ugh. What's this dull?
You're not
Can you
gonna
imagine?
bleed out in time to
no.
be dead by the time
You
the
gotta go.
plane
You
hits
gotta
the
get
ground.
up here. You gotta really.
You're also
You gotta put the blade
you're
up
also-
and really like, oh, put your head down.
you'd also be violating a podcast rule.
You gotta Epstein it.
Yeah.
You just hang yourself
to
from
call it to come break my hyoid bone.
You hang yourself in an airplane, in a Cessna, I think. I don't know if there's room. You're not a huge guy, Matty, but I don't think there's enough room.
No, she would just fly over on the Lilith Express and like hop on the plane like Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible, and she'd jump in through the window and break my neck.
Cut a hole in the roof.
Yeah.
You'd be violating a podcast rule,
By killing
unfortunately. So you have to attempt to survive the plane crash. And the question is not would you want to survive? The question is,
Could
do you
you?
think you could do it? Peter,
I think I could. I think I
I
could.
know you do. I know you think you could.
I mean, one, I wouldn't let it run out of gas. If you let it run out of gas, then you're kind of fucked. Now you're like you're quadrupling the degree of difficulty. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think under power, I don't know. I've never landed a plane before, but I have flown a
But you've
plane.
thought about it a lot.
Well, he's-
Now hang on. We can go on.
Yeah, no, I just went into the cockpit and just and knocked
like
on the
that.
door and said, "Hey, can I have a turn?" No, when I was a little kid, the exact scenario that you just described, Rory, where I
Going to visit your
friend of the
divorced
family
father, who's
or no, it was like
oil field
a
engineer.
Friend of the mayor's who let you get
No,
off the plane.
it was a cousin, like the kind of cousin where it's like your parents' cousins, so once removed or whatever, who was a pilot and had like a shared ownership deal with a couple of guys
Shared plane.
I think like a Cessna. I don't even remember what it was. But I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, and hey, you want to go for a ride? Yeah, fuck yeah. And so we went for a ride, and at one point he was like, go for, because you're sitting up front and there's like the side by side, yokes. And
He's like, I'm having a heart attack.
no, he's like, you want to do, I was like, fuck yeah, hell yeah. And so we just, we kind of like, I went down a little bit, pulled back, went up a little bit, turned to the side a little bit, and turned to the other side a little bit.
Loops.
Did some outside loops, some Himmelmans. But the thing that I remember was that he, like, afterwards, and he's describing this to my parents. He's like, oh yeah, no, he's got really good instincts. He like, because like apparently just the fact that I I'm like patting myself on the back for this, like it's some like real like, wow, oh yeah, no, I'm a natural, right? But but no, I guess it's not self-centering, like the yoke, when you turn, to dial in some banking, in order to get back to where you were, you kind of have to, unturn it. You have to flip the ailerons in the other direction, obviously, to, resume level flight. But I guess I knew enough as a 10-year-old just to do that automatically, I guess. But yeah, I think based on that, I could definitely fucking land that plane.
Hell yeah.
Especially water would be tricky, but it's just like, you just kind of gotta you gotta flare it,
Stall it,
you gotta get in there. I think the hardest part would be figuring out, if you don't know,
Co-pilot communication.
well, no, I'm just talking about well, no, because the guy's dead, so it's like there's
no, it's just it's a
don't need
joke
that.
from the new Nathan Fielder show. There's like a
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
sorry, I haven't either, but
Peter, you might get a kick out of it, actually.
Oh, I'm sure. He's great. But
Canadian.
no, I think that the hardest thing would be figuring out how the flaps work, because you need to scrub off a bunch of speed. It's not just like, fly the plane lower. It's like you got to fucking slow the thing down. You got to dial back the throttle, and you have to lower the flaps and get your get your airspeed way down for the landing, especially a crash landing situation,
in the water.
improvised landing. So that would be the trick. Would just be like figuring out how to do that in a unfamiliar. It's just. I mean, I don't know. Maybe planes are like cars now, and it's just like voice activated or something. Maybe you just say like, hey Siri, lower the flaps. Siri, my phone just went on.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Thanks. It's okay, Sam. I wasn't actually talking to you.
Whoa, that's the most polite response to Siri. That's not whenever I hear Siri, I'm really mean.
I
treat
always
Siri with
am.
a lot of respect.
But this is just like I sometimes think like because usually I'm pretty abusive towards
as
Siri.
one should be towards the assistant technology.
Of course.
But then I think like maybe that's bad, and it's good to just like practice civility, just generally speaking, even to
you're getting it out of your system.
Yeah, that's a good way of looking at it. Yeah, but then I remember, it's not a person; it's a stupid
Thing
surveillance
spying on
device.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly. Fuck off, Siri.
It's a bug that talks to you, and you are happy to have the bug in your house. It's really like a depressing point we're at. Every time my Google Assistant tries to activate, I absolutely am like, I will throw you in a lake. I've had it up to here. I'll throw you under the car and drive over you. I'm not doing it.
The only time I ever actually use Siri, well, there's two times. One is when I'm cooking and I just need a timer. And it's just easy to hands-free and just say, set a timer for whatever. The other time is I figured out in the car now how to, like if there's just a song, like if Natalia's like, I want to hear whatever, or if I want to make her listen to something, then I'll just, I'll say, hey, play this song. And most of the time it works. Not always, but anyway. You guys watching? Yeah, go ahead, Rory. What were you going to say?
It was a Cessna 406. So I don't know if that complicates it. I was imagining a Cessna, like a single engine.
Oh yeah, that's a twin. That's a turboprop twin. That'd be a little tougher. That's a faster plane.
You know what? Let me actually look this up real quick.
I mean, if it's like a Piper Cub or something.
Yeah. Oh, Cub for sure. I would.
Yeah.
I could fly it home. I just turn it around. It doesn't even have flaps. You're like no flap situation. All right, hold on a second. Now,
no flap situation.
The way that all the photos in the book do show like a standard Cessna, like a 172 or 170. So like,
yeah,
I think my initial it was not a Cessna 406. There's no way that'd be a crazy plane to take two people in. So I think it is, and the way they describe it in the book, he's looking out over the cowl on a single propeller. So it is. Oh. It's not a 406.
Yeah,
that was just
bad
Google. Okay. I, for the record, I would be fine landing the plane.
Not me.
No question. I have airplane flying in my blood. And I have ancestral memories of my grandfather flying a plane, and I feel like he had passed that on to me. And also, I've watched a lot of videos of guys crashing planes on the internet.
Air crash investigations.
And I feel like
no,
like the first person view guys crashing planes. Have you seen those?
No, thank you.
It's
fine.
They're great. Yeah, it's I mean, a lot of the videos are like. Guys like pulling it out, managing to put the plane on the ground.
I've seen some of those. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close calls.
Yeah. The only thing that I worry about is like, like the unexpected, like initiating a flat spin or something, like where it's like some kind of weird airplane phenomena that I don't understand.
I think you would have to be. I think you would have to do something pretty extreme.
Hot dogging.
You'd have to be hot dogging. I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen videos of guys entering like crazy spins, like with an instructor, and then the instructor like teach them how to pull out of it.
Get out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I
you just
also
put the nose down.
Put the nose down. Which I guess like to that point, I know how to solve it because I've seen so many videos of it. And I'm sure my training would kick in, and I would be able to remain calm and keep a cool head and be like, "Oh, remember that Instagram video you saw of the guy putting the nose down, and this ended up being fine." Mm-hmm. That's what happened.
Well, I mean, what else would you be doing other than just going like, "Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit"?
Oh yeah, then I'm getting my hatchet and I'm setting it blade up on the ground and I'm preparing to like absolutely drop myself on it.
Well, man, I'm just Matty's busy.
I'm occupied. I've got my whole
Matty,
I've got my days.
rather than Matty instead of trying to land the plane is setting up a hyper elaborate suicide scenario
and trying to get that done in the
like
remaining time that you have allowed.
in the
around.
10 seconds. Yeah.
This is a lot harder when the plane's coming down than I planned.
Can't focus.
I'm dropping the hatchet. It's a whole mess, you know. I mean, when the plane hits the ground, I'll die anyway. But it's just kind of like you keep yourself busy. I was trying to set up the big cat crate when I got here, and I like trapped my thumb in a pinch point between two pieces of metal for like a full minute. But I'm just standing there like, it's a lot of pain that I'm in. If I move it this way, no, significantly worse pain. Okay, well. That's a bad situation. Now that I can crouch down and get a look at it, it still hurts. Oh, I see. If I move it up like
very
this.
methodical approach.
Yeah. So I think I feel very prepared from my experience to very calmly kill myself before the plane hits the ground.
I mean, as much as I hate to say it, this conversation that we're having is preparing all of us for this eventuality of being stuck in the plane with the dead pilot.
Yeah.
This is... We're thinking about it. Although I will say, literally every time I've ever been in a small plane, that is immediately where my head goes is, what would I do if this plane, if the pilot died or
I will never get in anything smaller than a CRJ, dude.
What do you count? What do you count as a small plane, Rory?
Anything with a gas propeller, I think, that's like not operated by a major airline would be. So like what's the little turboprop that they fly like between Milwaukee and Traverse City? What would that be?
Like the Dash 8 or whatever?
Yeah. That is smaller than that, I think, is a small plane. Like a small plane is also a plane that's not pressurized to me. Does that make sense?
Oh, sure. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And do you fly in those frequently?
No, like 5-6 times, I think, my whole life.
Okay.
Scary. Like
I don't think I have since that one time, since I was a kid.
I don't like small planes.
I've had a lot of free adventure travel in my
It's true. Yeah.
in my days.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're supposed to be what's this podcast about?
Podcast is tired. Tired podcast. The car podcast, the tired podcast about cars.
It sure is.
For people who understand that cars are bad. I mean, just I was coming back from my walk earlier, just a few hours ago, and thinking about what we were talking about on the last recording, about how weird it is that that mid-air collisions happen at all. Like that just seems so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Like it would be so hard. Like if you were trying to crash two planes together in the air.
It'd be really hard.
Because it's like the sky is so big.
Yeah.
Well, there's 3 dimensions or 4 dimensions.
It's 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, like driving.
And time, if you think about it. Rory's
driving, I mean, you're driving in a 3-dimensional world, but you're still... driving happens in 2 dimensions. You're only going fucking forward or backwards or side to side, and you're also on prescribed routes, you know. Like you can't just like drive wherever. You have to be on the road. So it's like it makes sense that it's like, okay, well, yeah, there's going to be 2 cars trying to occupy the same spot. You know, that's going to happen pretty frequently. But with airplanes, like the fact that like you've got a whole other dimension and there's no guardrails. There's nothing keeping you from just veering off, you know? So I just, it's crazy. Like bird strikes, I think are crazy. But I mean, obviously that's going to happen and, you know, but a plane piloted by a person crashing into another plane piloted by a person, that seems wild.
Those are crazy too. I've seen those air crash investigation episodes because my dad used to like to watch that for hours at a time for reasons unknown to me, to freak himself out, I guess.
Oh, they're great.
And you'd see them and they just like shear each other off and you're like,
Oh yeah,
oh boy.
he's fucked up.
Scary.
Did you guys see the movie where Denzel Washington is the alcoholic pilot? What is that called?
I know the one you're talking about.
It fucking rips. It is so good.
Oh, I love it. He's great in everything.
He's so good. This is
I know it.
maybe it's called Flight.
Yeah, I think
But,
that sounds right. Hang on, I have to find out. About that.
Is it Snakes on a Plane?
It is not.
No,
That's
no.
the other one.
That's Sam
I
Jackson.
remember that one.
That's Samuel L. Jackson.
It is Flight, Rory. You are correct.
Flight.
2012 Flight
Well, what's the Con Air? Was it Con Air?
Yeah.
with Nick Cage.
That's one with a plane. There's all the airport
That's
movies.
Big
Airport
Rams.
75, Airport 77.
Airplane.
Those were great.
Ah,
Airplane, of course, which was the spoof of the... It's funny that Airplane kind of lives on, but I feel like those airport movies have... That Airplane was like a direct kind of spoof of.
Yeah.
I feel like nobody remembers those.
That'll be like when they uncovered this podcast in 5,000 years, and they're like,
What are cars?
I thought this was a car podcast.
What is a car?
They keep saying it's a car podcast, but we have a whole library of car
Rory.
podcasts.
No, there won't be anybody around in 5,000 years.
What is
No, I
a
don't
young
think so.
Chomsky? We just don't know.
Anyway, the movie with Denzel,
Flight, yes.
you should watch. The opening, like 20, 30 minutes of it is fucking incredible. It's so great. But
Do
you
we
should
know
watch
what this
it.
movie is called?
Flight?
Flight, 2012. Yeah.
What is it?
In the Flight in 2012.
Flight.
It was
I'm going to put a sound effect every time we say the name of the movie.
Flight.
Well, you guys just said it at the same time, and it kind of like canceled each other. It was like,
It's very good.
yeah, it's like noise canceling.
But yeah, he's a drug addicted, hard partying, alcoholic airline pilot, and he gets put in a very bad situation where the plane has a mechanical failure, and he needs to solve the problem. And then the whole rest of the movie is him. The FAA investigating the incident. It's really good. It's also one of those movies.
Wait, so is it like a drama?
Yeah. It's great.
Huh.
It's one of those movies. This is like, as we've discussed in the pod previously, I don't drink a ton of alcohol anymore. It's kind of like not a huge part of my life. But whenever I see movies where there's a guy who's like a hardcore, pathetic, disgusting alcoholic, I'm always like, oh man, I want to drink so bad. It's like the only time that I really like am interested. Like the only time I have like a craving.
Yeah, it's how I am with smoking.
Yeah.
I see people
like-
smoking in the movies, and it's like, fuck, man, I want a cigarette.
Yeah, Peter, now how are you going to get your like 5 to 10 cigarettes a year now that you're not on tour anymore?
I just don't. I quit. I basically I don't do it ever anymore.
Retirement.
I know, it's weird. It's weird. 5 to 10. That's very kind of you, Matty.
5 to 10 a stop.
It's about how many I saw you with per year.
A day.
Yeah. I think, but yeah, I see him. Yeah, I see the guy ruining his life with alcohol, and I'm like, oh man, that
That
seems
looks so
great.
good.
I'm sure he's having a great time.
A G&T, man.
Yeah. Ooh.
God, I cut a lime. I cut a lime today.
Yeah.
And like for the longest time, because like it's this weird thing. Man, we're just not even going to talk about cars at all.
Yeah.
Patreon episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because in Spanish, limon,
Yeah.
like there's not a separate word for lime. It's just like lemons and limes. They just call them limons,
Yeah. They're the same
limones.
thing.
And
Who cares?
and the thing is, and so like in my head, I've just been for years now, I've just been thinking of like lemons and limes as being like pretty much interchangeable, whatever. You know, I buy big bags of lemons and we use them all the time. Occasionally I'll buy a lime like for, you know, a one-off thing. If I'm making tacos, I want a lime.
Yeah.
But like I made tacos the other night. So I bought a couple of limes and I cut into this lime and I just like, it's like, no, man, this is not a fucking lemon. This is a lime. And,
Yeah.
and like this was like a really good lime, and the smell of it, like just when I cut into it, it was just like, oh man, I need a fucking gin and tonic right
Yeah.
now.
Yes, sir.
Like it made me really want a G&T.
That's the good stuff.
The lime.
Anyway, you should watch. You'd really dig this movie. It's good. Bob Zemeckis.
Okay.
It's got
Put it on my list.
it's got Denzel, obviously. It's got John Goodman, Don Cheadle. It's got Kelly Riley in it. But very good. Speaking of movies,
The person sitting next to me says, "Are we gonna crash?" Well, it certainly looks that way. She said, "I don't wanna die. That doesn't make much difference now. There's not much to be done to try to save your life or anyone's. It's too late now."
you guys haven't seen. We're not going to do the big review of the F1 movie, hey? Because you guys haven't seen.
We
it.
should
Not
do. We
yet.
should.
Peter
I
gets
haven't
back.
seen it.
I haven't either.
Yeah, we'll try.
Okay.
We'll try and see it between now and
Tomorrow.
well, next weekend, I guess. I don't think I'll be able to see it this week, but
I went on my own Thursday night. I went to the 10 o'clock showing,
nice.
which was sparsely attended, I will say. It's 10 p.m. though on a Thursday, and it was just the stalest popcorn I think I've ever had in my life. Of course, I ate the entire medium-sized bag because you're just sitting there. You have to. And it saw it in IMAX,
Ooh.
which I would recommend. I would say in preparation for the movie, I'm not going to give you I'm not going to give you the whole synopsis in my whole review, obviously, but I think the expectations. This is a $300 million movie. So as I was explaining to someone, Brad Barnell, I think the other day, if you're going to make a movie that's $300 million, it can only be so good because it has to appeal to enough people around the world
Right.
to make your $300 million back. So it's like,
Yeah.
to me, you have to go in with the expectation that like it's going to be kind of dumb in a lot of ways. Like it's like it's like
It's slop. It's lowest
yeah.
common denominator slop.
no, not necessarily. I mean, it can be good.
Well, it has to be. I mean, in a way. I mean, it kind of
It has
just
to be
like by
good.
definition it is.
But it's not going to be a smart guy movie where you're
Right.
like
No,
learning
of
a
course.
lot. Yeah. So I think like if you go in with the expectation of buying a whole bag of popcorn and a Coke and get in the IMAX and just having a fun time watching race cars go around, it rips. And you will certainly do that. You'll have a good time watching the race cars go around. I will say too, like I was super skeptical about like they were running these cars on track during real F1 races for like a season or two, and then like I was at Daytona and they were filming. Peter, we talked about this on the pod last time when they were filming. Pat Long is in the movie. Pat Long has a speaking role in the movie, which is incredible. It's so cool. But anyway, it was fun.
Just like our Grand Prix.
Yeah. No, he He says, I forgot what he says, but they exchange, they're like co-drivers at the beginning at Daytona, and they exchange words, and he's on camera a fair amount in the beginning. Yeah, I think you guys are gonna have a good time with the Big Dumb. It's like the same director as the new Top Gun movie, Top Gun Maverick. Did you guys see that?
Yeah, I never did, but I know people liked it.
Yeah, it's yeah, it's fun.
That's fine.
It's the same thing. It's like the same. It's like popcorn classic, as they say.
It's a summer blockbuster.
I'm excited for you to see it. Yeah, I had to see F1 sober, obviously, to get the full experience. Since I was reviewing it, I had to take it a little bit more seriously than I would. Did I tell you about when my friend John and I went to see Avatar in IMAX or in 3D? So we both took an edible and then went to see Avatar.
They should have made the F1 movie in 3D. Think how cool that would have been.
Yeah.
The car coming like right at you.
Yeah.
Dude, that would be sick.
So we went to see the movie and we sat through 40 minutes of previews, obviously, and then we also sat through 40 minutes of Creed 3 before we realized that this was not, in fact, Avatar.
Walked into the wrong theater.
I was like, this is not in 3D. We both we're the only ones in there with the 3D glasses on.
So funny.
So we were watching Creed 3 with only two guys in with 3D glasses on, and then it was like, this is not in 3D.
You didn't notice that it wasn't in 3D?
Not for a long time.
God.
I mean, it wasn't 40 minutes, but it was
so funny.
It was a good 5 minutes, and I was like, there's a lot of they must be doing like a backstory here where like it shows maybe where what's his name loses his ability to walk or becomes paralyzed, but it's like, why are they in Los Angeles? Like, this is such a weird. And then I looked over at John and we kind of like made eye contact, and it was like, we're
you make eye contact through the 3D glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny, man.
Really solid work on our part. Yeah. But beginning of Creed 3 looked pretty good, I gotta say.
I bet.
Yeah.
The thing is, when I saw Ford versus Ferrari, that was a movie I went to see on an edible.
Yeah.
and the thing is, and you think about it, right? Like the thing about, I mean, in my experience, what being high does to you when you watch a movie is it kind of like it short circuits your kind of like your remove, from it. It kind of like it gave me insight into like, how like my daughter when she was small, would see movies, and like there's that thing of like, you don't have that filter that tells you that what you're watching is not real, right? Mm-hmm. And it's like when you're a little kid, you don't have that. It's like, somebody tells you, it's like, it's okay. That person didn't actually, it's pretend, right? It's pretend. They're all pretending. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then gradually as you get older, you kind of like, you develop that sense of being able to make that distinction. And for me, like being high, it kind of like strips away that filter of pretend, That said, Ford versus Ferrari, like I still thought that movie was fucking terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, and I was high as balls, and I just remember thinking like when he looks down at the speedometer in the GT40 on the Mulsanne, and it's just like, God damn it. That car did not have a fucking speedometer in it. It's a race car. That's all I could think. It's like, I'm not high enough to think this movie is good.
No, that was my. I mentioned that when I reviewed the new movie F1 was like in Ford versus Ferrari. There's just enough, and in Rush, there's just enough of the dumb Hollywood shit in the movie, or like dumb movie making shit in the movie, that it can take you out of the movie. Where it's like, that's what you're like,
right?
We like little detail things where you're like, no, that's not right, and it's like, then you're out of it, and it's like,
right. The
F1 movie, for everything that was wrong and goofy about it, never did that, and it was like they really like. I mean, the list of like producers on the movie was all F1 people. It was like Lewis Hamilton, Luca Domenicali, Toto Wolff, like all those guys. And then like the IMSA stuff was there was like there's some, he the main character does like wake up in a van seemingly behind the bleachers at Daytona and then walks to
like
the race.
They do. Yeah, like they normally do. Yeah.
It also like was in. I mean, he's probably 1,000 feet ish from where the actual RVs do park. Like, it's like kind of in the same neighborhood. I can kind of forgive it. The one thing I will say, and I didn't say this in the review, but anyway, they did. A lot of the detail stuff was correct, and a lot of the exposition and like the way they explained things was correct, and like the look of like the telemetry and like the screens that you see, like Wayne Taylor and everybody, like that was real, like that was the real stuff, and like that part of it was like I said, like having been at a lot of races and like having seen this stuff up close, like it didn't take me out of it, which I was really impressed with. Damn. God, what was I about to say? Shit. I went back to say that and I lost my train of thought.
All right. Well, there is one car thing that we do need to talk about. Because we only have a few more days of June. We are at the end of June.
It's true. And
as listeners may remember, there was something that was going to happen in June that wasn't Le Mans or the 6 Hours of the Glen or Spa 24 that's happening right now, or the Nürburgring 24 that happened last week.
What's that, Peter?
Do you remember, Rory?
No.
It's when the fucking Cybercab was going to come online.
Oh, it did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it did. It has.
Yeah.
And
do we have a selection of headlines about how it's going?
Well, there were a number, but my favorite one came from this site called Musk Watch. Guy named Caleb E. Karma says, "The week in Musk, robo-taxis gone wild." After years of blown deadlines, Tesla this week finally launched a severely restricted and heavily supervised version of its robo-taxi service in Austin, Texas. The rollout has been less than ideal. Despite precautions, including the use of teleoperators, geofencing, and, quote, safety monitors, otherwise known as human employees sitting shotgun, Tesla's fleet of about 10 self-driving Model Ys has been recorded committing numerous traffic violations. In one video, a robotaxi could be seen driving into a lane for oncoming traffic for 6 seconds. Another video showed a passenger pressing the pull over button only for the robotaxi to stop in the middle of a multi-lane intersection, blocking it temporarily. After a similar incident occurred with another rider, the robotaxi stopped in the middle of the road, prompting a safety monitor to call for support to get the car moving again. The cars also appear at times disoriented by police lights. Robotaxis have also been filmed speeding, running over curbs, and braking erratically, with one coming to a complete stop due to a shopping bag that was floating in the roadway. One viral incident showed a robotaxi failing to detect a UPS truck that was reversing in its direction, leading the safety monitor to press a manual button that stopped the Tesla's advance moments before a collision could occur. In a separate ride, the safety monitor had to move to the driver's seat to take over the car. The use of safety monitors, while clearly necessary, contradicts a promise Musk made to analysts and investors in January. Teslas will be in the wild with no one in them in June in Austin, he claimed at the time. In a statement, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said it is, quote, aware of the referenced incidents and is in contact with the manufacturer to gather additional information. Austin's transportation department said on Thursday that it reported its first safety concern involving a robotaxi. The incident was traced back to a robotaxi that slammed on its brakes after approaching police vehicles that were outside its driving path. Many of the riders chosen to participate in the robotaxi beta are Tesla So this is the great thing, is that this isn't just like, oh, anybody can do this. Like the people who are doing this were basically given invites to do it.
A closed beta for your car drive.
Yeah.
Christ on the fucking
It's all guys who have blocked me on Twitter are the only people who are allowed
exactly.
to drive.
It's actually a requirement.
Yeah.
Many of the riders chosen to participate in the robotaxi beta are Tesla investors and fans of Musk. Rides can be requested through a robotaxi app and may be denied during inclement weather. Tesla is charging riders a flat fee of $4.20, a number famous for, among other things, Musk's false claim that he had secured funding to take Tesla private at $420 per share. Anyhow, so, that's happening.
I will say...
Congratulations to Elon Musk and Tesla. Number go up.
I'm sure NHTSA's looking into it very strongly.
They actually are. They supposedly. Seems like NHTSA is still operating semi-independently. There's a video of. I guess this is not necessarily a Cybercab. It's just a new Model Y, just smoking some little kid-sized dummies. But I will say there's been some unfortunately credulous reporting on this. I think like the initial launch was like, they did it. Yeah, but from places I wouldn't expect. And I think like the at least like the fact that they rolled this out was treated with credulity, like, oh, they're actually doing it, which is like, no, they're not actually doing it.
Right.
And then there's been some kind of like more skeptical reporting since, but I will say that overall the response has been, I think, more muted than other Tesla announcements in the past, like Cybertruck announcement, but also like Cybertruck going into quote unquote production or whatever. Like it has been, it seems as though like the public is kind of like, whether it's because Elon's like out as a Trump guy, or whether it's because meaning like he's like openly a Nazi, but or just because like it's like, I don't know, maybe the general public does see him as a little bit more of a charlatan than they did pre-Trump. It's certainly the vibe around cyber, what is it called? Robotaxi coverage has been more like, this is stupid and fake, versus like, oh my God, I can't believe, did you see that Tesla's, whatever? Like it, maybe it's also my like media bubble that I'm in, but I did look at headlines the other day when it was announced and like when they did the actual rollout, and
Yeah.
Like I said, it was like more credulous than I would have liked, but it was less credulous than previous Tesla, you know, announcements or whatever. Which is like,
Yeah.
maybe that's good. Which is like, you hate to think that it's because.
I mean, the thing is, yeah. I mean, like, I mean, there's no way to spin this.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, this is the big thing, and you know, and I mean, he made it clear a while back that like that basically the entire future of Tesla, like he's all in on autonomy and on self-driving, you know, and this model of like,
and
yeah,
robots,
you can buy a car and
humanoid robots,
have it be you know, a taxi when you're not using it and generate income for you, like passive income or whatever. Which is just like a fucking joke. but I love the fact that he's all in on it, because it's like, because you're gonna lose, man. And there's no way to fake that. And with this, I think you're seeing just like how pathetic even the kind of it's just so transparent. It's just like this fucking masquerade.
I mean, the thing is, though, is like, there is no way to fake it, I don't think, but there's no reason for him to think there's no way to fake it, because he's been faking this shit for his entire life.
See him reel out of this one, etc.
It is very funny. I mean, I did write a funny song when I was like 17 or 18 called "Fuck You, Mom and Dad for Making Me."
That's a very.
You're gonna have to.
Right?
We're gonna have to find you a Casio MT.
Yeah, how much of that do you remember?
Oh, I remember all of it.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Please. Can we get you a Casio or a guitar or something?
It's just like it was a guitar song. It was an Exile song. Fuck you, Mom and Dad, for making me. This world is not the place where I want to be. How could anybody be so fucking mean? Fuck you, Mom and Dad, for making me. And then it's like, I never asked to be born. I never wanted this shit, but you made me anyway. And now you gotta deal with it.
That's great.
I feel the pain. It makes me shout, life is something I could live without. Fuck you, Mom and Dad, for making me. And the thing is, I knew it was funny, and it was like, it was a joke.
Yeah, of course. It's funny, yeah.
I never asked to be born, but you made me anyway. You brought me into this world, and now I'm gonna make you pay.
That rips. That's so good.
It's wonderful.
I was thinking about this recently, and this brings it back to cars. Like,
Thank God.
when I was 20 and went to Europe for the first time, and visiting my friend, we were traveling around, and I dragged her to Maranello because I was fucking in Italy and I had to go to, you know, when will I
Italy trip,
go
yes.
to Maranello again, and so went to the, you know, took the train to like Modena, took the bus out to Maranello, and got off in front of the Ferrari factory. This is like 1990.
Yeah.
1990. And there was a store. There was like the museum and the store across the street. It's nothing like what it is now, or at least, I mean, I haven't been to it now. I haven't been back there since. But now it's like this, you know, huge, crazy complex. But then it was just like a pretty small museum and just like this, like basically a bookstore, gift shop. They did have like a wall of just like one, you know, 43rd scale models of like every Ferrari ever. which was like pretty fucking sick.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen that. I think I've seen that
it's probably
yeah. Still there. Yeah.
Okay. But I bought a book and I bought some stickers. I bought like a couple of the just, big stickers of the Scuderia Ferrari shield. And I brought it home and this is when I had my yellow 74 Duster in college, and I slapped it on the front fender of my fucking Duster.
Oh, on the cover of Superleggera.
Yes.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. Oh my God, the lore.
So, but the thing is, you could not, in 1990, you could not fucking, if you wanted a Ferrari sticker, a Scuderia Ferrari sticker like that, you had to go to fucking Maranello.
Yeah.
You couldn't buy it at the mall. You couldn't order it online. There was no fucking gigantic ass merchandise machine selling you like fucking flags and stickers and like anything that you could fucking imagine. I mean, now like Ferrari is just like this total insane brand, right? Where it's just like they sell more merch than fucking cars. But what was that? That was 35 years ago. That was, you literally had to go to Maranello to buy the fucking sticker.
Oh, I have one more car thing.
Oh.
Our boy, Jordan Taylor, at the
NASCAR
at the Craftsman Truck Series. My man, P1 in practice, P2 in qualifying, was in P3 for a while, did not ultimately pan out due to some aggressive competition in the field, but he made a very nice post about how he had a great time out there. Would love to come back.
Sounded like he got knocked around a bit, which is, I feel like that's exactly what happened when he's dabbled a bit in, he's done some, did you do like Bush stuff? Like and
He knows what's up.
with similar results, shows up, is very fast, and then gets out there on track, and like the way those guys race in NASCAR is a bit different than the way they do in IMSA and WEC.
Yes,
good diversity.
A little bit more
contact.
Yeah,
a little bit more shoving.
Wheel to wheel, literally. Put the wheel on the wheel. But yeah, good job.
Defender.
Good on him getting out there.
Didn't he set the truck lap record?
I believe he did set a track record. Yes,
I think so.
Over in practice.
Lime Rock.
Good for him.
Yeah,
Rodney Sandstorm.
Rodney Sandstorm, our boy. Good day for just friendly competition with IMSA NASCAR crossover, and then we'll steal Cotter Zillich back to IMSA sometime. We'll keep trying.
Yep.
My baby back. Give me my boy back. Put him back. I'm glad he won at Pocono, but I want him back. I want him back in a Corvette.
Yeah. Someday we all end up in a
Want him
Corvette.
back in Spec Miata.
Ooh, yeah. Put Connor in lots of fun places. Let's sneak him out. Maybe if we have to take Jesse Love Jr. too, so they can be BFF in another series, that's fine. But can we just crane game them both out of there? That'd be fun.
Well,
Yeah.
It's 2 hours. Should we pack it in?
Nice work, boys.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
Stay tired.
Tired.
Yeah, stay
Stay
tired
tired.
out there. Thank you for listening. Thank you for subscribing to the Patreon. Bye.
Yeah. And we'll be back with lots of more automotive. There's so much. I mean, we've been kind of doing traveling and doing special eps and stuff, and we really kind of have not been on top of the automotive news, and there's a lot of stories. But we'll get to those soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll do catch up when Peter gets back from vacay.